Hey everyone, Jeff-McErlain here, and today I want to talk about one of my favorite Eric Clapton solos of all time called Bernard Jenkins. Before I get started, if you like my channel, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really helps me out quite a bit. This solo has some pretty cool advanced concepts, but it's primarily off of a G minor pentatonic scale with some added few notes. We're going to add in a natural third, and we're going to outline the C7 chord when you get to the 4 chord. If you're not familiar with your pentatonic scales or your arpeggios, I have them all easily written out for you in my Guitar Survival Guide, which you can take a look at. And it's really a great way to help out the channel if you like what I do. You can get your own copy at JM Guitar Lessons. You can check out the link above or the link below. It really helps me out. Also, you can check out my master classes that I have there, background tracks. You can also check out my website, jeffmcerlain.com, for all the goings on in my life, like gigs, and sign up for my mailing list. This is pretty much my favorite period of Eric Clapton's guitar playing. Well, this and Cream, actually. And this is recorded with John Mayall in a bedroom, as the story goes. And it was recorded right before the John Mayall and the Blues Breakers featuring Eric Clapton sessions. The flip side of this single was a great tune called Lonely Years, which I show you how to play on the link above if you want to check that one out as well. And here's my good friend Keith Williams over at 5 Watt World explaining a little bit about the recording session.
Clapton is often described as moody and mercurial during this time, incredibly driven in his search for authentic blues in others and in himself. His relationship with others could swing wildly day to day. In Clapton's autobiography, he wrote of his fame, "I was a bit mystified by this, and part of me ran a mile from it. I really didn't want that kind of notoriety." Eventually, it got to him, and he quite literally quit the Blues Breakers and ran off on the road with a makeshift unit calling themselves the Glands. But drama and tragedy followed the venture, culminating in threats from a club owner in Athens. Clapton took a bit of a runner, even leaving behind a Les Paul and his Marshall combo amplifier. Upon arriving back in England, the first thing he did was borrow money to call Mayall to get his old job back. This was all quite nervy, as he'd also convinced Bluesbaker drummer Huey Flint to go with him. But Mayall didn't hesitate to rehire Eric, and Huey along with him. The Bluesbreakers have been described as being like an old jazz band, with players changing out every month, and Mayall seemed to take it in stride as being part of the price of doing what he wanted to do most. With Clapton back on board, Mayall was hopeful that Decca might give them another go, and so he went back to Mike Vernon at Decca. Vernon ran with the idea, pitching it to the label on the back of Clapton's popularity to Hugh Mendel. Papers were quickly drawn up to make it happen. Before the Decca deal was put to ink, Mike Vernon had an idea to record some tracks for his side project, Perta Records. They recorded Bernard Jenkins and Lonely Years with just Mayall and Clapton together in a room with a single mic. Vernon said of the session, "Lonely Years was the finest effort Eric ever put on record. It just sums up exactly what Eric was about at that time, the real down-home feel." Lonely Years is often included in deluxe reissues of the Beano album.
Okay, so it's just a 12-bar blues in G, right? So what we do is we start off with a classic pickup. We have the piano intro, and what a pickup is, it's the last bar, so we're in bar 11 of a 12-bar blues. So we're coming in on bar 11, and we're going to hit our downbeat on bar 1 to start off the tune. Let me play you the phrase. That phrase in the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's my downbeat. So the lick, bar 11, so we're thinking like, right, that's the beginning of the tune. So we call that a pickup. Now the lick. So I'm thinking G minor pentatonic with my natural third because we have a G7 chord. So since we have this G7 chord, we have a B natural in it. G7 is spelled G, B, D, and F. And if I just look at the chord, it's right there. So what Clapton does is slides him from B flat to B and bars with the first finger and gets the G triad. Then we come with our first finger and bend the B flat almost till we get to the B and then resolve to the G note. So let me play that slowly. One more time. Then that last part of the phrase, we're hitting B flat to B. And then the fifth of the chord, which implies the 5 chord right there in the blues, because we're going back to the downbeat of bar 1. All right, so hear that, right? So that's our downbeat. And the downbeat is going to be a G7 chord. So this is like D7, right? So we slide that up. There's E7, F7, G7. So I have the D note, F, and the B. This is where the magic is, right? The notes are not that difficult. It's just B flat to C, B flat to G to B flat. But if I went, that's not really cool. I'm always tweaking that first finger bend on that B flat. And I add a little bit of the tweak on the 4, which is the C note. And a little vibrato on the G. So we have that B flat, C, B flat, vibrato that G, and then that B flat again. And I bend it ever so slightly, and I stop it. And I stop it with the right hand right there to put the pick down, and I also lift up the finger a bit. So I have. And that gives it that really cool fluid sound, right? That really loose, laid-back feel. The notes become really, have like kind of a just a beautiful melodic vocal quality to them, as opposed to doing, right? Ugh. Then here, going to my 4 chord, I'm going to bar with my first finger and get the top 2 strings, or I can even get that B flat. I'm just hearing the top 2 strings, which could be part of my C9 chord. So here I have this D and G. And I'm going to slide it from F to G on the 2nd string and vibrato that. So. All right, here we're on the C chord. So the C7 chord, C, E, G, B flat. And this bend right here, he bends the B flat to the C, releases the bend and vibratos at B flat. So you're really outlining a C7 chord at that point. That's kind of a little ghosty on the recording, so I just kind of firmed up what I think I heard. So and there I'm bending the A, alluding to the B, because I'm going back to the G chord. So G is spelled G, B, D, F, G7, G, B, D, F. So I have this B flat for my C7 chord, kind of alluding back to the G major chord with the B natural. So that phrase on the 4 chord, so. A little tricky, that kind of little ghosty thing. Then I go into a little bit of a slide. Here, once again, we're getting into those little kind of really cool nuanced bends that make Eric Clapton such a genius in my mind. And he got what B.B. King does this, Freddie King, Albert King, all the guys came before him. I really learned a lot of this stuff from Clapton, being a big blues rocker and a big British blues guy. I just learned a lot of this stuff from him, and of course, he didn't come up with this, but I think he's particularly good at it. And I think everyone would agree, especially during this period, the John Mayall Blues Breakers record and Cream, all these little nuances in his playing is really what I love the most. Okay, so I'm kind of sliding in. Sliding with my first finger down to this B flat, kind of from the C. I say kind of, I'm just getting into the note. Right? And then I'm going to play that B flat, bend it a hair again. That's pretty tricky. So I'm bending the B flat. I fret the C, can bend that a little bit. B flat. So every note I'm playing except for the D, I can add a little bit of a tweak to. Right? But let's check out that first one. You hear Jeff Beck do a lot of this stuff. So here I'm bending with my first finger, and I don't release the bend, I bring it up. I release the bend. I should say when I release the bend, I've already got the third finger coming down on a C note. So I don't hear, it's a cool sound. Kind of a Jeff Beck thing, but, right, bend that note, then fret the C. So next we have that C slight bend to the E, C bend, the B flat. Now here we outline the 5 chord. Now I need bars with the first finger coming down to that C chord. So then he does. I'm going to slide up from this B flat and D, kind of bar with the first string, even the high string, you hear that a little bit. So I'm almost hearing like a D9 to a C9 to a D9, that upper part. Okay, so that line. There's that phrase again. That first finger bend, going to the third finger, right? Then that turnaround. So here I'm playing D to F. I'm going to slide down with my third finger, get that C. I like that little count noise. So just a G minor pentatonic scale. We're always bending that flat 3 a little bit, as we always would do. Then we're going to go turnaround again. There's that B flat to B to the D. I've only shown you the first chorus of the song. So the chorus is the kind of jazzy blues lingo for the first 12 bars. The reason why I did this is much longer, and it's a goldmine in terms of cool Eric Clapton stuff, I think, and my favorite period of his guitar playing. Lots of nuance in his playing, lots of dynamics, really amazing stuff. And it was improvised. It was he and John Mayall just improvising this thing and laying it down. So it's really got a great loose feel. So the idea is not to copy everything note for note. You know, that's his thing. But I learned / stole, I almost said stole because I did. I stole a ton of stuff from Clapton on this. The real main idea is these little phrases, a little microtonal bends. All that stuff I learned from this tune and Lonely Years, which is another great tune, as I said. You can check out the link above or link below where I show you how to play that Eric Clapton, John Mayall classic blues tune as well. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I will see you the next time.